Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into one of Europe's most mysterious and lesser-known countries, Belarus. Tucked between Poland and Russia, Belarus often flies under the radar, but it's packed with some truly unique, surprising and even bizarre facts that you won't believe are real. And yes, you actually can't clap in public in some cases. Intrigued? Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll see Belarus in a completely different light. Let's get started. Let's start with the one you saw in the title. In Belarus, clapping in public can be considered a form of protest. It all began around 2011, when protesters, who weren't allowed to gather or speak out openly, began organizing silent protests. They would simply gather in public places and start clapping. No banners, no shouting, just applause. The government saw this as a threat. Eventually, clapping itself was criminalized under certain circumstances, and people were actually arrested for it. In one strange case, even a one-armed man was detained for allegedly clapping during a protest. Authorities later claimed he had been encouraging others to clap. So yes, in Belarus, clapping in the wrong context can land you in jail. Most people associate the KGB with the old Soviet Union, but Belarus still uses the same name for its national security agency. While most former Soviet countries rebranded their intelligence services, Belarus kept the name, KGB, short for Committee for State Security. This organization still operates much like its Soviet predecessor, with powers to monitor, detain, and interrogate citizens. It plays a major role in controlling dissent, especially during political unrest. In short, the KGB is alive and well in Belarus, and it's a big part of the country's internal power structure. Belarus is often referred to as Europe's last dictatorship. That's because its president, Alexander Lukashenko, has been in power since 1994, making him one of the longest-serving leaders in the world. He has won several elections, but international observers and local activists have reported widespread voter fraud, media suppression, and political intimidation. Opposition candidates are frequently jailed, exiled, or mysteriously disqualified. In recent years, especially after the controversial 2020 elections, mass protests erupted, and government crackdowns followed. The political climate in Belarus remains tense and heavily controlled. Belarus might surprise you with how green it is. About 40% of the country is covered in forest, making it one of the most forested nations in Europe. The most famous of these forests is the Białowieża Forest, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that Belarus shares with Poland. It's one of the last and largest remaining parts of the immense primeval forest that once stretched across Europe. It's also home to the rare and majestic European bison, the continent's heaviest land animal. Minsk, the capital of Belarus, feels like a time capsule from the Soviet Union. While other Eastern European cities have modernized or embraced Western architecture, Minsk retains a very Soviet atmosphere. Wide boulevards, concrete apartment blocks, monumental statues, and government buildings that look frozen in time. This isn't by accident. After World War II, the city was almost completely destroyed, and the Soviet regime rebuilt it in its own style. The result? A city that gives you a rare glimpse of what a fully Soviet-designed urban area looked like. Belarusians take their potatoes very seriously. The country is one of the top consumers of potatoes per capita in the world, and the vegetable plays a central role in their cuisine. There are dozens of traditional potato-based dishes, the most famous being draniki, which are crisp potato pancakes often served with sour cream. Potatoes are so integral to the national identity that they've even earned Belarusians the nickname Bulbash, a playful term that comes from bulba, the Belarusian word for potato. If you're into offbeat travel, you'll love this. In the countryside, Belarus used to host Soviet-era pioneer camps. kind of like summer camps for children, complete with statues of Lenin and hammer and sickle symbols. Some of these places have been preserved or repurposed, and one in particular, the Stalin Line Historical Complex, has become something of a Soviet theme park, where you can ride in military vehicles, explore trenches, and even fire historical weapons. It's a surreal mix of history and entertainment that you probably won't find anywhere else. In 2022, McDonald's officially pulled out of Belarus, citing operational and supply difficulties. While fast food exists in Belarus, this departure symbolized the country's increasing isolation from Western brands and influence. In its place, a local chain called Vkusno I Tokka has attempted to fill the gap. But many Belarusians noted the taste and quality just weren't the same. So if you're craving a Big Mac in Belarus, you're out of luck. Despite being in Europe, Belarus has a surprisingly cash-heavy economy. In many places, especially outside major cities, credit and debit cards are not widely accepted. It's a good idea to carry Belarusian rubles with you if you're ever visiting. The ruble has gone through multiple redenominations and devaluations, and inflation is a recurring issue. Many locals prefer to save in US dollars or euros. That being said, modern banking apps and digital payments are catching on slowly, but don't expect the same level of cashless convenience as in other European countries. And here's a more uplifting one to close with. Despite the challenges it faces, Belarus has one of the highest literacy rates in the world, estimated at over 99%. Education is highly valued, and the country offers free primary and secondary education as well as subsidized university education. Belarus also has a rich cultural history, especially in literature, music, and theater. The government still funds many cultural institutions, and traditional folk arts remain strong, especially in rural areas. So while Belarus might be strict and authoritarian, its people are among the most educated and intellectually active in the region. And there you have it, 10 unique facts about Belarus. From silent clapping protests to Soviet-style cities, potato pride, and beyond. Belarus is a country full of contradictions, isolated yet educated, ancient yet modern, restricted yet deeply rich in culture and nature. Whether you're planning a trip or just curious about the world, it's a nation that defies expectations at every turn. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating videos just like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.